Time to join us. My name is Pam, and I'm an education officer with the Ministry for Education, and I will be your host moderator for today. Can I just get a thumbs up if you can hear me and see me clearly from anyone? Excellent, excellent. Thank you so much. Okay, I have to state this. Kindly note that the webinar is being recorded. So if you do have any objections, please do let us know. Otherwise, this will be recorded and it will be obviously available to all of you. Okay, kindly note that you'll be receiving a certificate of participation. And so in the next few minutes, I encourage you to register your participation by filling in the registration form, which the link to which is available in chat. Okay, so please, if you would like a certificate for this particular webinar, please, I encourage you to fill in the registration form and submit that by the end of this webinar. Please do take note that you choose the right title and spell your names accurately. It does sound funny, but it's not the first time that we had to rewrite a certificate because of a misspelled name. So please, I encourage you to look at the spelling. Some housekeeping rules. And this is the registration form that I was talking about. Okay, so some housekeeping rules, if I may, for obvious reasons, we would like you to all mute your mics. However, the chat function is available to anyone who wishes to contribute during the presentations. Also, feel free to raise your virtual hand, and we will make sure to give you the time and space to contribute to the discussion. There will be time for Q&A after each of the 6 presentations that we have today, and we allotted a good amount of time at the end for your contributions or your questions or suggestions at the end. Excellent. So on behalf of His Excellency Dr. Kenneth Vella, Ambassador of Malta to Estonia and Finland, I welcome you to this informative webinar organized by HARNO, the Estonian Education and Youth Board, in collaboration with Mindfulness with Elaine. Today's session, as you can see, focuses on teaching STEAM, entrepreneurship, and cybersecurity skills. And together with our wonderful 6 Estonian speakers that you can see in front of you at the moment, we will be sharing some successful tools, projects, and ideas. Okay, as we usually do, we would like to ask you to contribute via Slido. And for those of you who might not be familiar with this, please use another device, be it your mobile phone or your tablet or another tab on your laptop, and simply key in slido.com, slido.com. Once you're there, please key in the number in the box which says enter code here and key in the number 676701. And please answer our first question. And this would give us a clearer idea of who our audience is. So very, very quickly, go to slido.com. The number is on your left-hand side, and tell us what your role in education is, what your job, what your profession is, anything, something that tells us about your profession. Slido.com 676701. Very good. Excellent. So far we've got a chemistry or science teacher, an assistant head, a senior leader, a head of primary school. Very good. So we've got a science educator, and rightly so, because today we'll be focusing particularly on science. Excellent. Very good. Okay. Perhaps instead of using chat, we can use Slido. So slido.com 676701. If you could kindly mute your mics, we would appreciate it. Okay, so we've got different jobs from different sectors. Head of Information Assurance, very interesting. We've got the majority coming from education. Excellent, very good. Excellent. So our webinar today is divided into 3 main parts. And as you can see, it will focus on STEAM. It will also look at entrepreneurship and cybersecurity skills. So for our second question on Slido, ladies and gentlemen, what do you think these 3 aspects have in common? What is the common denominator? So I want you to think about the theme of this webinar, STEAM, entrepreneurship and cybersecurity. And I would like you to think of what these 3 have in common. Again, slido.com 676701. Okay, we've got technology, skills, I encourage you to actively participate. Excellent. Risk, interesting. Thinking skills, spot on. Transversal skills, very good. They need transversal skills. 21st century skills, employment, technology, creativity. It's multifaceted, definitely. Ambition. Perhaps we have some time for 1 or 2 more. Drive. Excellent. Okay, so one of the things that we would like you to notice is the underlying or overarching theme that runs throughout these 3. So thank you for participating in our Slido. And now I would like to introduce the head of school and ambassador for Finland and Estonia, a great leader and friend, Dr. Kenneth Vella, to give his introductory message. Over to you, Dr. Vella.
Thanks a lot, Pam. Good afternoon. Good afternoon also to the organizers today. May I also welcome all the participants and give my warm welcome also to our experts and guest speakers today. Erika, Veide, Marki, Tihhonova-Kreek, Ave Rosenberg, Janika, Leoste, Kersti, Loor, and Lauri, Soosaar, who will be presenting later on today. Today's webinar is the second from a series of 3 webinars discussing different educational services and tools organized by Maltese and Estonian colleagues. This webinar is the result of the collaboration between Mindfulness with Elaine and Education Estonia, which are organizing jointly once again today's event. In my role as Ambassador of Malta to Estonia and Finland, I am really honored to have started and facilitated such a collaboration. Today's webinar also confirms the excellent relations that we have between Malta and Estonia, also in these challenging times. From my end, once again, I also thank Ms. 𝗬𝗓𝗂𝗰𝘁𝗍𝗃, Project Manager within Education Estonia, and Ms. Elaine Azzopardi, Director and Founder of Mindfulness with Elaine, for making today's webinar also possible. Thanks once again to our guest speakers and also to you, Ms. Pamela Zerafa, who is assisting by coordinating once again this event. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Vella. I now turn to Ms. Elaine Azzopardi for her own introductory message. Elaine?
Thank you, Pamela, for that introduction, and good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our second interesting webinar being organized by our entity, Mindfulness with Elaine, in collaboration with Education Estonia. As the founder of our entity, it's such a pleasure and honor to be organizing today's webinar, which focuses on STEAM, entrepreneurship, and cybersecurity skills. Please allow me to thank 𝗬𝗓𝗂𝗰𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁, Project Manager of Education Estonia, for making these sessions possible. Grateful to Dr. Kenneth, Vella, Ambassador to Estonia and Finland, for facilitating our contacts, and to you, Pamela Zerafa, for being our moderator and coordinator of these sessions. Thank you to our guest speakers who will be delivering their presentations very shortly. And finally, I wish to thank each and every one of you participants for your interest as well as your presence. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Elaine. And now it is my privilege and honor to introduce Ms. Crystal Moistus. She is obviously the mind behind these webinars, and she will also be the one introducing our 6 main speakers. Crystal?
Thank you, and welcome you all. And also I appreciate the collaboration also with you, my Malta colleagues and partners. And now, to be short, I would like to introduce our first speaker, Dr. Janika Leoste, who is PhD at the School of Educational Sciences at Tallinn University of Estonia. And Dr. Janika Leoste has been since 2021 been the Chief Specialist in Entrepreneurial Cooperation and Innovation at the School of Educational Sciences, and also a researcher in educational robotics. And Janika's research focuses on the sustainability of technology-enriched educational innovations and also the didactics of STEAM learning at all school levels, including learning integrated with robots in pre-primary education. And now I would like to give the word to Dr. Janika Leoste. Thank you.
Thank you, Crystal. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, organizers, for giving me the opportunity to talk in front of you. And I can maybe add that I have been teaching thousands and thousands of Estonian and international teachers about how to integrate robotics in their daily teaching activities, and also how to increase the level of their digital skills. I started thinking how many years I have been in IT, and then I just counted on my fingers. And 34 years ago, during the secondary school studies, I started learning coding. I was 16 then, and I can say I was one of the first students in the Soviet Union who had opportunity to start dealing with computers, and now here I am. And if you ask about my robotics interest, I can't deny I have 3 sons, and all of them has been dealt with robotics competitions, so it's quite logical what happened to the mother. But just before starting sharing slides and doing interesting things today, I would like everybody of you, in case you have a piece of paper and a pen, just write down the acronym STEAM. Yeah, I know you'll be thinking science, technology, engineering, arts, and maths. No, it's not about that right now. I would like you, as educators, as teachers, as parents, to reconceptualize the meaning of STEAM in the context of teacher. So I have one. So when talking about S, it means that teacher who starts dealing with STEAM needs support from the colleagues, support from the universities, but also scaffolding. Now talking about T, it means a teacher needs extra time, and of course, he or she needs technology. When talking about E, there is enormous effort, energy, and encouragement that will take place when teacher tries to deal with educational innovations, especially when they are related to the technology. And of course, when talking about A, every teacher has to go through different stages. Some of them are quite painful. Okay, the awareness phase, yeah, it's interesting stuff. But what happened then when we go to the implementation, when we decide to accept it? And last but not least, the aim of every innovation is to reach to the adoption level or sustainability level. And now I would just like you to think for a second, what should the M mean in my acronym? What is M stands for? It stands for money. It stands for money. And I'm sorry to tell you, but based on my research, none of technological educational innovations is not able to continue without continuous flow of money, because the licenses could expire, the equipment could break, there is need for continuous training courses for the teachers. And that's the meaning of M. But I'm going to share my slides with you now, and let's dig into some topics I'm going to talk today. 1 second, I will be opening the slides. And let's run from the beginning. First, I would like to introduce, before jumping into the Estonian success, something related to my topic, and it is math in robots. I just start sharing in 1 second again, as I forgot to put that sound on, but please think meanwhile what you can do with the robots in math class, what you can do. How could they be useful? And that was also the question I wanted to solve, because I was so enthusiastic about robots. I was thinking they can solve everything in the world. And let's see whether they can do it.
Nüüd me oleme siin katsetanud igasuguseid võtteid, kuidas sellist ka pealtnäha kuivade õppeainete puhul motivatsiooni, huvi, haaratust lastel tõsta. Üks võimalus on õpetada matemaatikat koos robotitega.
Ja me oleme tegelikult läbi viinud nii pilootuuringu, kus oli 200 õpilast, aga praegu on käimas juba ka siis põhiuuring, kus üle 2000 õpilase üle Eesti siis proovib, et kuidas nüüd see robot matemaatika õppimisele kaasa aitab.
Muidugi on võtmeteema ja millele peaks ka see meie uurimus täpsemalt vastust andma, et kuidas siis lõpuks nende eksamitulemustega on, kui see õppimine on ikka vahva on, et kas siis see üks ikka nagu kenasti peas seisab. Vähemalt selle piloodi tulemused ütlesid, et igal juhul ei lähe nad teadmiste mõttes, ei lähe teadmised alla, aga see suur uurimus, mis praegu käib, sealt me loodame saada siis kinnitust, et kas on võimalik kahte head asja korraga saada. Ja loodetavasti lõppkokkuvõttes siis kõige rohkem rõõmustab matemaatika.
Matemaatika võidab alati.
So, as you see, Estonians have been pioneering in everything, so they don't hesitate, just take math and robots and take 3,000 students and hundreds of teachers and start doing some innovations. But it would be impossible without the support from our government. And let's see what is behind of Estonian success. And today I'm going to present you shortly 4 topics. The slides are later available. So why we are so successful in STEAM education, also how to design this type of innovations, and something really cool about hybrid learning. And of course, Estonians like to make show of everything, especially about STEAM. So why we are so successful? And I think that you will later on see today different solutions, what are provided, what are considered normal in Estonian context. But yes, there are some numbers that can talk for you. Numbers showing our position in PISA tests, also digitalization level at our schools. And maybe there are some characteristics that could explain our success. And maybe one of that might be inclusive education system, but also a lot of autonomy that has been given by the Ministry of Education to our teachers. And all schools actually use e-solutions. That's considered normality, and also kindergartens use, and even higher education institution use. And when just taking a short overview about the education system of Estonia, you see it's quite similar. Maybe there is only one exception, that we start basic school quite late, starting 7 years. And otherwise, there is no difference whether you take your education in upper secondary or vocational school direction. You can go to the university and you can continue your educational path. In Estonia, everybody has right for high quality education. And although we have some so-called elite schools, they are for free. Everybody has opportunity to attend them. And to be honest, there is only tiny difference in the exam results when talking about normal rural school in Estonia and city elite school. And maybe one of the reasons behind of that is also that our students' learning results are not influenced by socio-economic status. So everybody has equal opportunities. And also the technology has had a big role in our education. Maybe you have heard about 𝗘𝗁𝘂𝗿𝗏𝗃 program. And also we have dedicated open repositories for digital learning resources. And no wonder Estonian teachers are eager to produce materials in a way that all teachers could take them, adapt them, and use them. Some more facts, like 99% of Estonian kindergartens have taken part of different programs, but I can also say that 100% of Estonian kindergartens, not talking about schools, are equipped with different STEAM sets. And digital solutions just have everyday use and it's considered normal. Now moving to my favorite topic, how to sustain these different innovations, as you saw from the previous video. I would say it's quite dependent on two universities giving teacher education, Tallinn University and Tartu University. And the focus field of both universities is somewhat set towards the educational innovation. And just some facts about Tallinn University. I am currently at Tallinn University Eduspace Lab. That in World University Rankings in education, we are in top 250 universities currently. And the innovation, the RoboMath, you saw just a short trailer when I was discussing the opportunities with my supervisor, Professor 𝗬𝗏𝗪𝗏𝗪𝗏𝗏𝗏, previous rector of Tallinn University. You see, you also have this assumption that when starting using technology, it has to improve the education, it has to improve learning. And you all know about math anxiety. So the idea behind of this innovation was that it helps to reduce math anxiety, but also it helps to visualize abstract math concepts. And I'm not going to stop more, but also there is a trailer I was showing you. And in case you are interested, what happened to the RoboMath? Was it sustained? Then feel free to check my science articles. They are written in easy manner, and you can also find highly practical examples of RoboMath lessons and also how to design these type of lessons and what you should know. Last but not least, this is the model I derived based on 4 years research. And as you see from here, there are different stages always the teacher have to go through. And when he or she is just excited, it takes just few days to jump into the trial. But there is also the biggest misconception hidden. So when policymakers or school heads check that, okay, the teacher is using currently robots in math, it is adopted. No, that's the only way how a teacher could understand whether this technological innovation has any perceived value for students, for teachers. That's the most important part when talking about educational innovations. And as the innovation is a process, before starting this process, you have to take the responsibility to think what you are going to do with the teachers. In case they would like to adopt it, do you have enough money, sufficient funds and structuring, scaffolding, so they would continue? But whether it's actually possible, I'm just going to jump now to the hybrid learning problems. So you all have experienced that doing Teams or Zoom, it's not engaging, and the students just got lost. And there is one emerging technology, still expensive, but quite promising, and it's called telepresence. And via telepresence, you can actually be physically present in the place where you are not present. Just some fresh experience from yesterday. I was in Norway then, and I had to give a workshop for the teachers in STEAM Festival. And on the left picture, you see me and my colleague talking freely before starting our 1 hour workshop. Then I was giving the workshop, walking around the class, and I don't like the last picture. They were staring at me like I was some zoo animal or something, but in reality, it was quite positive, and we were talking about feelings. And yes, in 1 second, I will start sharing the screen, and you will be in this laboratory. And just some pluses and minuses, I would say there are a huge number of pluses because you feel the presence. You are going to have fake memories that you were there or you weren't. And all students we have tested already in higher education, they are so thankful. We have hosted students from Colombia to Estonia. They have woke up during the midnight to take part in physical classes. And also we have tried a little bit in general education. And I'm sorry to tell you that then you need assistant teacher. Otherwise, the students will start pulling the robotic teacher. But just 1 second, and let's go and have a ride in our research lab. So, just 1 second, I'm going to switch to the robotic screen. And then you will also enjoy my superpowers, because when I have my robotic body, of course I will have superpowers. That's considered normal. So now you are here and you see the screen I would see in case I wouldn't be there. And now I just use arrows or gamer buttons or just automatic navigation, and then I can start. It's quite strange to say hello, hello. And the really good thing is that you can have a look at other person. It never happens in a Zoom. And I also have another superpower. Okay, I can also zoom in 8 times. Yes, you can even see my buttons. Yes. Okay. Okay, what is here? It's not my Coca-Cola, honestly. Honestly, I don't drink it. Okay, so yes, actually, this is the body you can have. You can move around and you can do everything. And I'm going to stop that call. Now, this is a 3D printer, by the way. I'm going to stop call. So I will be sharing to the chat now a link and if you use the link, you just can go and visit my lab in case you have Chrome browser. If somebody takes the link, please tell others that you will be doing it. So then it's possible for others to also have opportunity. But by the way, 5 people can attend in different settings using the one robotic body. And this is the link. And don't make me silly faces, otherwise I can't concentrate. I have 5 minutes more to give you a presentation. Otherwise, you just can call me. And before moving further with my slides, I would like to say what is the most painful feeling when you are telepresented. The most painful feeling is when your colleague in the meeting will take cake and coffee and start eating. You know, I so like coffee and cake, and that's something you can do when you are telepresenting. But let's continue with the slides. And yes, hello, somebody on the telepresence robot, I'm here. So this is a research lab. We do everything. We do hybrid stuff. We do robotics. We do STEAM. And this is the concept what we are using. Hello. So we have equipped ourselves with more than over 90% of Estonian schools and kindergarten have. And also we collaborate really closely with the industry. And please check out the trailers, and also please check out all these prototypic examples. And I highly encourage you to read the vision book about future education and also the vision book of hybrid learning, what has been produced within the national collaboration. And last but not least, please go and try it out yourself. We have summer school happening already in July, and you can read more information about that. But as the end of my speech is coming, so let's make now some TV shows. And 1 second, I will be showing you what is the meaning of TV show in Estonia, how we do it. So let's check it out. Let's check it out.
Yeah!
So, as you see, you can always make a TV show out of the science. And there are just a few slides left. So you can check the trailer, but you can also check the full episode with English subtitles. It's a STEAM in edutainment. And there's the way how we promote STEAM programs. And yes, we have exported, or we have already started exporting it already outside of Estonia. So there's the place you can find more information. That's all. That's all. I could be talking for hours, and I have like 100 more trailers to open, but I know that you can do it later on as these slides will be shared with you. And now I just want to turn my camera so you would see that we have one visitor here from the conference. So yes, so it is our visitor. Yeah, where's our visitor?
Could we have lost? No, there she is. Janika, you're muted. Let me just. Are you still with us, Janika? It's okay. In the meantime, now that she's reached the end of her very funny, I don't know about you, but I really enjoyed that presentation. Perhaps you could think of any questions, any suggestions, anything that you would like to contribute at this stage before we move on to our second speaker for today, Mr. Lauri Soosaar. So please, Janika, are you with us?
Of course, I'm with.
You're muted. We can't hear you.
You can hear me now. And there is the first rule. If you have a lot of wires, please don't touch them. I have so advanced teleconferencing system, so I just started moving around the camera instead of just moving it slightly. And so, sorry, it's the rule of the steam. It's the rule of the steam. So I'm now back here and I will change a bit my position so you would, no, not the Coca-Cola. Okay, now I'm better. So I'm ready for your questions. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thank you, Janika. It was brilliant, I must admit. I don't know if there's anyone who would like to ask any questions. I do have plenty of my own. I think, I mean, a lot of things that you shared with us, Janika, today are, if anything, inspirational. It shows us that where there's a will, there's a way. If you think of, you know, maths and science and English and, I don't know, a robot, maybe you can do something with them. And I think that, if anything, what comes out from your presentation is how much thinking outside the box one can do. And that with, as you said, a lot of time and a lot of effort and a lot of money, but mostly a lot of support and belief, you can do a lot of things. So that really stuck with me and resonated with me. Anybody else who would like, perhaps, we do encourage you to participate. The idea is to hear your voices too. So please share, unmute your mics, raise your virtual hands. Anything in chat would be greatly appreciated.
I'm not a robot. I'm a person. You can freely ask. If we have just 30 seconds or something, I would like to maybe just to show you the video. I will select the start of something to show that actually in Estonia, what type of teachers we have here, and especially kindergarten teachers. So just 1 second, and I would take the advantage. So let's check from here.
My name is Evelyn, and I work in one of the Tallinn preschool as a study director. And my mission in this preschool is to support teachers and professional development and help them to integrate the robotics in our study process. Our preschool is bilingual, and there are over 230 children, and using ICT tools is very important for us to make this learning more interactive and playful.
Using robots and digital tools in learning and teaching is a growing trend. Research shows that technology-supported learning is more attractive to learners and facilitates the acquisition of knowledge in different fields. It has also been scientifically proven that the use of technology in educational activities allows for better consideration of the abilities and needs of learners with different skill levels and special needs. Therefore, Tallinn University provides the high-class online trainings that help the participant to acquire techniques and methods on how to effectively integrate robotics and playful IT tools into learning activities.
It's a very modern and innovative course which takes place online, and at the same time we are having online courses, and we are also using those robotic tools at our workplace, and we are doing group works, having discussion, creating new ideas how to use those robotic tools in our learning process and how to make this learning more joyful and playful for children.
So that's all. The trailer link is there and you can join the rest of this course. Thank you so much. It has been an honor for me and I wish everything you can do it. The innovation is wonderful. Thank you so much.
Well done, Janika. Thank you so much for sharing all of that with us. Matt, I agree with you. It's extremely cool. And if anything, I really, really hope that all of these ideas, if anything, you know, we at least think about how we can start implementing some of those ideas. And perhaps, Janika, you can share your ideas with other people, particularly policymakers, and hopefully we'll start making that a reality. So thank you so much for sharing that with us, Janika. Thank you. Crystal, perhaps we can now move on to our second speaker, Mr. Lauri Soosaar. Crystal?
Yes, thank you. Mr. Lauri Soosaar is our next second speaker. He is co-founder and CTO of Merkuur. Merkuur is a company that is doing mobile technology classes and workshops. And Lauri is a teacher, engineering and entrepreneur. And actually, Lauri has team teacher qualification since 2019 already. And he works as a technology teacher in different Estonian schools. And as well, Lauri is a board member of Estonian Association of Technology Education and also Network of Estonian Teachers Associations. Yes, please, I give word to you now, Lauri. You are muted, Lauri.
Hello. It's nice to be there. Do you see my screen? Okay.
Yes.
Hello, my name is Lauri. I'm a co-founder of company Merkuur. First, I show one short video what we're doing.
Merkuur has developed a series of mobile workshops to introduce young people to various professions, work practices, and tools to be found in the metal and woodworking sectors. It provides an opportunity to gain hands-on experience, raises interest in these professions, and for vocational training in these sectors. In mobile classrooms equipped with modern technology, students can test their engineering skills, try various techniques and tools, and make exciting products. In 3 years, the Merkuur team has organized over 700 science, technology, and engineering workshops for about 7,000 young people.
Very interesting programs and projects. Stephanie, please reveal the winner. The winner is Mobile Workshops from Estonia. Congratulations. Well, thank you. Indeed, congratulations.
I will share one short story about our journey. We are a very small Estonian private company, and we are trying to promote engineering and technology. I'm a teacher, engineer, and entrepreneur. I've worked a long time in different metal sector companies as a production and sales manager. I got STEM teacher qualification in 2018 and focused 100% to education. I would like to inspire young people by the field of technology and engineering. As a teacher, I face the challenge of teaching technology every day. Schools don't have enough resources to buy modern tools and equipment. Girls are not welcome to the technology classroom. Estonian companies don't have enough skilled workers. Here you can see what we have done. We have developed compact and mobile dream classrooms. We have built mobile workshops, equip them with real tools and skilled teacher. We go where our youth and make together real things. I'm a teacher with my own classroom. I go to the school, open my classroom, students go in, I'll give my lesson, close, and next school. We started generating ideas of mobile workshops in the end of 2016. We got 100,000 from Estonian Ministry of Education for developing and piloting our solution in Estonian school network. We have organized over 2,000 technology events for 20,000 young people in Estonia. We are 3 hours away from every place in Estonia. We have developed 2 mobile workshops and over 80 learning solutions for the secondary school. We have a strong team, technology teachers, engineers, educators, innovators. I'm very grateful to every member of the team. In this short time, we have been noticed from different sectors. We are social enterprise, promoting entrepreneurship, technology and engineering, making education innovation. We work together with sector companies, schools and local municipalities. We operate in the field of formal and non-formal education. At the end of a workshop, each participant receives a product made by themselves, such as flashlight, USB memory stick, LED lamp, clock, or street jacket. We are developing our solutions for smarter and faster. We have made 5 years piloting in Estonian school network and have a huge experience with traveling workshops. Now we are building a new generation of mobile workshops. We invest in youth, invest you too. Thank you.
Thank you, Lauri. Thank you so much. I think it's extremely innovative. I had never heard of a mobile workshop before, and I think it would solve a lot of problems if these things are accessible via a mobile workshop. So I think it's brilliant. I don't know if there's anyone in our audience who would like to contribute or ask any questions at this point.
I can tell myself also a little more. If we started our journey, then we started on non-formal education. And then in Estonia, we understand that the money is in formal education and we have enough skills to offer formal education. And then we move to formal education. And we work a lot of with companies also and promoting this STEM everywhere. I can go everywhere. I like the main doors, to stay near the main doors and to find out extreme places where to make this STEM stuff. Okay.
Lauri, we have a question. Ďeżărė, I'm very happy that you've joined us. Crystal, I would like to introduce Ms. Ďeżărė Shikluna. She is she's an actual assistant director, and she is one of the persons leading STEAM in Malta. So I'm honored to have her here with us. Ďeżărė, please.
Hi, hello, good afternoon, and many thanks for inviting me to this very interesting workshop. And basically, I see that what I liked about the presentation is the term you used, empowering partnerships. It's all about creating this networking, perhaps between schools, but also with the industry. So basically, we are also in Malta, we have already embarked with this collaboration with the industry. Indeed, yesterday we had a seminar, a scientific seminar, with the participation of industry and social partners, as well as educators, because the link from the classroom to the, so to say, to the career, to the industry, is a vital one that needs to be nurtured throughout the process of teaching and learning from an early age, but also throughout the secondary years. So I am pleased that, so to say, there is a lot of alignment between this project and what we are currently, so to say, currently conducting also on a national level. Well done for the presentation and also for the project. Thank you.
Thank you, Desiree. I don't know if there are any contributions or questions you would like to ask Lauri?
Yes.
I don't think that there are any other questions.
Okay, if you are interested, we can go to Malta to make a demo.
Lauri, I think that's a brilliant suggestion, and we will definitely need to consult with our superiors to see how we can make that a reality. So, Lauri, I think that would be very interesting. Ryan Kakia, how are tech internships regarded in Estonia? I am asking this question. Are they popular? How are tech internships regarded in Estonia? Are they popular? Mr. Kakia, would you like to unmute your mic and tell us who you would like to address that question to? Is it to Lauri or to anybody else, or to Janika?
Hi, good afternoon. I would like to ask if it's a common feat in Estonia that students are given the possibility to go and test their skills in a tech company, for example. It's something which I tried to do in Malta during my studies, and it wasn't so easy, I would say, during my studies. So I would like to ask that question to Lauri. Maybe we can address that. Thank you.
Thank you, Ryan. So, Lauri, would you like us to repeat the question, or?
In Estonia,
I think it's glitching. We can't hear you, Lauri. It's okay. If you don't mind, Ryan, we'll try to get back to your question. Perhaps it would be best if we could address your question, unless Crystal perhaps wants to address that via Janika. I don't know whether Janika's still with us.
Janika has left actually for 30 minutes because she has to move to another place. So 30 minutes is out. But what I can say on behalf of Estonia, that technical internship and also practice in different companies is very popular in Estonia, and it is very popular to collaborate. Different educational institutions are doing collaborations in companies, and also we have apprenticeship work-based learning programs, what we also implement in Estonia, and this is also one of the possibilities is have a practical real-life experience in companies. So this is the answer from Education Estonia. So because I have been also the head of the marketing of education, vocational schools leadership. So before being a project manager in Education Estonia, and I can confirm that internships in companies are very popular in Estonia. And this is something also what we are doing more and more in Estonia. The partnership in public sector between private sector is also something we want to do more and more each year. And we put emphasis to this also. Yes, and Lauri, if you would like to add something now, if your technical issues are correct, then you can add, and if not, then we can go further to our next section.
Exactly.
I can add this, that we have been active in Estonia 5 years, and no tech companies are understanding what we are doing in Estonia, and they are ready to invest to us to promote more and more this engineering stuff. And metal sector companies are slower than IT sector companies. They are moving slower and they need much more time to understand where to put them.
Okay, and now we move on to thank you, Lauri, for that. We would like to now move on to the second part of the webinar, which focuses on entrepreneurship. Our third and fourth speakers, Ms. Erika, Veide and Kersti, Loor, will be sharing their presentations. Crystal, perhaps you can introduce them to us. Thank you.
Yes. We do now two speakers' introduction together because this is more logical in our program's consideration. So Ms. Erika Veide is the Chief Specialist of Entrepreneurship and Career Education Program at the Education and Youth Board. And also I would like to say some words about our next speaker because they're doing fluently and we take questions after two speakers. Ms. Kersti Loor is the CEO of Junior Achievement Estonia. And Kersti Loor has worked in Junior Achievement Estonia already for 30 years. And for last year of those ones, she has been a CEO. And also she's going to talk about more about activities about Junior Achievement Estonia later on. And now I would like to give the word to Ms. Erika Veide to have the first presentation, and then we take fluently after Erika's Kersti Loor presentation, and after that we take questions. Thank you.
Okay, can you see my presentation from there?
Yes.
Okay, it's good. Hello to everybody. It's great. It's a great pleasure to meet you here today. I'm Erika and greetings from west coast of Estonia. And as the title says, I will tell you how the entrepreneurship education system works in Estonia. So, Edu ja Tegu is a program responsible for entrepreneurship education in the country. And we have many partners. The general part of Estonian national curriculum, there's 8 key competencies. The development of them is a duty of every teacher, and one of these general competencies is entrepreneurship competence. But entrepreneurship education as a subject is optional in general education. Therefore, the main task of our program is primarily to provide tools to integrate entrepreneurship knowledge, skills and attitudes with the different subjects. We believe that if we give for students entrepreneurial tools, they will be able to success in any future roles, whether as an employee or entrepreneur or as an active citizen. Our aim is that all those who study in Estonia at the level of general vocational or higher education will have an opportunity to complete activity-based entrepreneurship training, as this is the best way for young people to obtain knowledge, skill and experiences for their future career. And as you can see, the main goal, what is our main goal? The main goal is to increase the number of people who want and are able to turn ideas into reality. So, but in 2016, our researchers from our different universities developed a model of entrepreneurial competencies. And according to our main educational system, it is based on Entrecomp model. And all our activities related to this entrepreneurship model, our teaching materials, trainings, interactive games, and practical activities, all are based on this competence model. And what we are doing, our program, we produce teaching materials for all levels of education. We have trained entrepreneurship mentors, and schools and teachers can invite them and use them. We have a separate website where we gather all necessary information, and we have also social media groups for teachers, and we have in our education system, we have an official platform. We called it e-school bag, where we gather all the created materials, and where we all our teachers can find them from there. And also it is free for them, and they can edit them there, and then they can use them. And also we have teacher training programs. We have for retraining and self-improvement training. We have business idea development program starter for higher education institutions. And we monitor and conduct research as part of the program as well. So, but the uniqueness of teacher training program. What makes our teacher training program so special? What do you think? Entrepreneurship training always take place in different companies. Never in a classroom. Always in companies, so that teachers who do not normally enter the world of business can now develop their new skills in a business environment. And okay, next one. Building and developing a network. And this is not only between teachers. It is very important to build and develop the network between teachers. And as I told you, we have places where we gather together. We have conferences, seminars, summer school trainings individually and in contact. And we have in social media, we have a group for entrepreneurship teachers. But also it is very important to have this network between partners who have the same goal, and also with companies, different kind of companies who can support this entrepreneurial education and teaching. Educators, investors, informal education, like mobile workshop. They are the teachers have to know that we have these possibilities to use. And I don't know. Okay, can you see the next slide? And competence development goes through all school levels, and it is a long-term process. We strive to make it a systematic and consistent process, which is not right now, and we have a big job to do. That we have the schools, they are good and they are doing a lot of things, but it is very important for us, for a program, that they have system how to do it in a long term. And this competency-based approach allows seeing entrepreneurship education from the two different points of views. The first one is as a discipline, offering a separate course for students. And the second one, what is now is more important for us, is as a method. For example, as a teaching approach, and implying entrepreneurship education into the curriculum. And the first one, we call it the narrow approach, and the second one is a broad one. And Estonia historically followed the principles of the narrow approach, supporting the creation of the new businesses and so on. But now we have more attention for this using this competency-based approach as a method for every teacher, not only the entrepreneurship teachers. So, and as I mentioned earlier, the program works with partners, and one of our partner is Junior Achievement Estonia. And now Kersti is going to introduce what they are doing and how we can work together.
Yeah, thank you, Erika.
I'm stopping the sharing right now.
So good afternoon. I'm very happy to be here. My name is Kersti Loor and I represent the Junior Achievement in Estonia. And in my presentation, I will focus on impact of entrepreneurship education and especially JA student company programs impact. And Junior Achievement is a global organization and is present in 120 countries around the world, also in Malta. I put here also the logo of 𝗀𝗧𝗂𝗰𝘁𝗶𝗽 Malta Foundation. So almost everything what I'm going to talk about also applies to Malta. And JA path stays on three main pillars. It's entrepreneurship, it's work readiness and financial literacy. And we start in Estonia from first grade and have programs in all stages up to upper secondary level. And our aim is to inspire and prepare young people to be successful in their lives and in global economy. A student company program in Estonia is already 30 years old. It's a one-year program and in which young people go through the whole entrepreneurship process, from idea generation and implementation of the ideas to closure of a company. And it's really popular in Estonia. This year we have a record attendance. We have over 500 student companies, which means around 2,000 students. And here you can see also the rise of student companies in Estonia in last 10 years. What I also want to emphasize is that Estonian student companies are and have been really successful. The level is high. And we have even won 3 times European company competitions. And what makes a perfect student company? It's 2 parts: when we have an innovative idea and also the action part. If they come together, we have the winning team, so-called. And in our everyday program, actually, we emphasize more even the action part, because sometimes the students don't come up maybe with very innovative ideas, but we really want them to take initiative, to take responsibility, to look for opportunities, sales possibilities, so they get knowledge and new skills and this experience from the whole process, and also gain the courage to start the business later on. And if we see these growth drivers behind our growth, number growth, then there are several. First of all, also, of course, the support, very much also that entrepreneurship education is in curriculum. But what I also want to emphasize here is that in Estonian curriculum is so-called compulsory research work in upper secondary school, and it can be replaced by practical work or student company. And many students in Estonia think that the student company is more fun and more easy way to do this research work. But actually, I also think it's maybe more interesting and more fun, but it also takes a lot of work. And what makes a strong company program? Teacher training was already mentioned here, and I also think that teacher training is a clue, but also the support throughout the whole process, which we provide to our student companies from the starting point until the end. And also very important, I think, is the recognition part that our Prime Minister every year also has a reception for Company of the Year finalists, and also this year is going to be. Estonia has been part in research about the impact of company program, and what was found out is that the students improved their social skills, they improved their learning motivation during the company program, and also they gained self-awareness, they gained the courage. And in Estonia also very clearly came out that the students who went through the whole process also were more ready to become an entrepreneur in the future. The point here is that there is 100 hours, the magic number, which means that the amount of work dedicated to a student company must be at least 100 hours or even more. Then we see these good results, then we see the improvement in skills. But if it's less, there might be maybe no results. So the deep dive is here important. And if we look at the long-term impact of a company program, then we have also several surveys and researches here, and the main finding is that JA alumni start 2 times more often the business in the future than average do. Here are the 2 really brilliant examples of our success. So we can see that junior achievement is also a breeding ground of unicorns. Unicorn is a startup company with a value of over $1 billion US. So these 2 guys have created really huge companies, and I especially would like to emphasize here Sten, who made a student company 24 and was quite successful. But when he graduated from the program, he said that he didn't believe before that program that he never could be an entrepreneur. But afterwards, he continued with his student company, and he created several more companies in between. And then a couple of years ago, started this unicorn Zego in UK, which provides insurance for car and scooter delivery drivers. So per minute short-term insurance. And to sum up my presentation, I put here some recommendations. I think really important is the systematic learning and the progression model to build on already the knowledge on existing knowledge, and strong teacher training combined also with freedom for the teacher. Then I think the deep dive is very important, not such small different activities, but to do something really thoroughly. And since the people today, the young people today are very many opportunities, and the workload in schools is quite heavy, it's good to have something 2-in-1 or blended or combined together. So if they do one thing, they may have done also another thing together. For example, in Estonia, this company program as practical work, they can do both together. So the combination is good. And thank you. And if you have questions, I'm happy to answer them. And also, I encourage you to contact with Junior Achievement Young Enterprise Malta. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kersti. I don't know whether there are any members from Junior Achievement Young Enterprise from Malta here today. It would be lovely to hear your voice. If you do and you wish to contribute, we would encourage you to do so. Meanwhile, does anybody have any questions for our two speakers? We've got Ms. Erika Veide and Kersti Loor, who would perhaps answer any of your queries. Kersti, if I may ask a question, a very quick one. I think it's a brilliant way of encouraging people to, if anything, it boosts their self-esteem and it helps them understand perhaps certain potential that they didn't think that they had. So in this case, is this something that all schools have to implement, or is it something that would be optional and therefore depends on whether there are human resources or actual, other resources available?
Yeah, it's optional course in Estonia, so the school can decide whether they want to implement it or not. But in curriculum, entrepreneurship education is like no, it's suggested topic. It's so that if students want to study entrepreneurship or economics, so the school has to provide. But a school can decide whether they take junior achievement or they take another program. So they are free to choose how to deliver entrepreneurship education.
Thank you, Kersti. I don't see anybody's hand raised, and I can't see any questions in chat. In that case, perhaps we can move on to our penultimate speaker, Ms. Ave Rosenberg. Kersti, perhaps Crystal, sorry, you can introduce Ave to us. Thank you.
Yes. And now we have our third speaker from the section of entrepreneurship skills today. Ms. Ave Rosenberg is the co-founder and game content manager of Bizplay company, and the company's educational playful role-playing games to practice entrepreneurship. And to also add that Ave has studied recreation management and has worked with different projects. And Ave has always looked at how to gamify activities, which include analysis and learning points. And that's exactly what she does in Bizplay, making fun games educational and useful. And now I give the word to you, Ave.
Thank you. Hello, I am Ave. And as you heard, by nature, I am more a practitioner than a theorist. And what we do in Bizplay, we have combined a role play with a web-based app to teach entrepreneurship. So in my presentation today, I will share Bizplay's 10-year experience, how we teach entrepreneurship through a role play. And also I will talk about 3 key points, what teachers can use at school, and how can they use a game as an educational tool. So I believe you educators agree with me when I say that you cannot teach entrepreneurship with a textbook. To teach life skills like creativity, teamwork, or entrepreneurial mindset, we have to teach it through the experience. We believe in Bizplay that a game is a very powerful tool to teach people. It doesn't really matter what kind of games you are using. The important thing using a game as a tool is that you know how to use this tool properly to get effective results. And now I will share with you Bizplay, how Bizplay role plays work. So role play takes place in one room in real life, and a group of 20 to 30 students are divided into smaller teams, which we call companies. And each team is going to run one company. And also we have different companies there. For example, there is a department store, beauty salon, city government and bank, medical center, and so on. Players start to simulate the real life. Each company has different materials, paper materials with the documents and everything, and also a web-based app where players can take tasks and do transactions on the internet bank. And facilitator role during the role play is to manage the role play itself and have discussions after the experience. Role play itself is divided into stages, which we call months. And each month is divided into 2. One phase is playing phase and the other phase is analysis phase. In the playing part, students are running around, communicating, making deals with other companies, and then facilitator gathers all the players in a company meeting, and then they will discuss how did it go, what was the experience, and how can they do better in the next round. And during the program, we usually play 3 rounds, and it lasts about 1 to 3 hours, depending on the format. Bizplay has different formats for each age group, starting from 5-year-olds upper and until to even grown-ups can try these role plays out. It's really fun. And the younger ones, we have My Money, which teaches more about personal finance skills, then Entrepreneurial Family, that is more focused on family businesses, and Entrepreneurial Citizen, which teaches about basics of entrepreneurship, taxes, and economy in general. And also we have a Business Battle, which teaches about finding your business idea and going to the market to sell it. And now I will share you these 3 key points, how to use a game as an educational tool. So first, actually these key points are the main things we have focused on Bizplay programs, how we have built up all the role plays, and what we have noticed that if you use these games in the right way, as I mentioned, using this in a proper way, then you can get the best and effective results. So first is to engage students from the beginning to the end of your lesson. So what I mean by that is that you can use a game itself to engage students. And other thing which helps you to engage students more, then I recommend you to use more stories. And when you use story and relate it with your lessons and the topics you want to achieve, then students are more engaged. For example, in our games, we use simplified story. For example, you are all entrepreneurs who want to raise company's value by making profit, having happy employees and happy customers. You are all the owners of your business and you can decide everything yourself. Do your best. What happens with the story is that context given, students are on the same page and they are already curious, okay, what is going to happen next? So I encourage you to use stories. These are really powerful. Second, give freedom to experiment and fail. Freedom gives a responsibility, but only when no one tells you what to do. In Estonia, we see that teachers tend to teach too much. But what happens is that when we teach, then we actually automatically take away the responsibility and actually the opportunity to understand things. In our case, in our games, facilitator doesn't interrupt when students are experiencing and creatively solving different situations, even when it's in the conflict with our own values. For example, in our games, there are some situations when players decide to rob a bank, in our case, yeah? The first thing what comes into the mind for the teacher is like, okay, this shouldn't be allowed. How can I manage it and everything like this? But actually, what is a good point here is actually that you need to let them experience it. And later, when the game is finished, facilitator can discuss what happened, what can you do differently, and you can actually ask from the bank robbers as well that why did you decide to rob a bank? And the usual answer is that, well, we just wanted to make more money for the business, so they would do well in their company. And actually, it's not anything bad, but decision wasn't the best way. So this is a part where actually teacher can share that there would be other ways too. So until then, when we give the freedom and the experiment, freedom to experiment and fail, then it is a very good point where facilitator can build up very valuable lessons where to learn from. And third, this is the most important part, I would say. Analyze and ask questions. What I mean by analyzing is that why we have to analyze the experience. The thing is that when we don't analyze the experience, until then, it is just a fun activity, but not an educational tool. So I recommend you as well, when you don't have enough time in your lessons, then please cut the playing time, but never the analyzing period. And second part of it is that when you're analyzing, please try to use questions, because questions help students to analyze their experience and the feeling, what did they actually discover and what happened during the experience. So the questioning part is very good. So actually, this is the place where facilitator can also bring up the most valuable lessons. And in conclusion, I would say these three things would be, I would say, the basics. Try to engage students more, then they are so curious about what you're doing and where are you heading to. Try to give more freedom and try, instead of just trying to tell that we are going to do this and try to do that, and always please analyze the experience, because this is the very important part to actually learn. and who shares these thoughts with us, please do not hesitate contacting with Bizplay team. And currently there is available a free game format. If you want to try it out yourself, how the role play works and everything, then Business Battle is the shortest and the easiest game format. And you can find this on Bizplay homepage. So please feel free to try it out. Even you can try it out with your teacher colleagues. And last but not least, I would finish this presentation with a quote by Sir Ken Robinson. Curiosity is the engine of achievement. No matter what we do, if students are curious, then we educators have done a great job. Thank you.
Well done, Ave. I can't agree with you more. Thank you so much for that. I think that what came out from your presentation is how learning should be experiential, how we should learn by doing, and that is precisely what we do all the time. And most of the time we learn only when we do. I would have loved to have had the experience when I was still at university or at secondary to learn how to manage my finances. And perhaps I wouldn't be in the situation I'm in right now had I been given those tools and skills. So that would have come in very handy. Even the mentioning of taxes, for instance. I mean, I learned all of that when I started realizing that they took so much from my paycheck, you know? So I think these are very important skills that I think we tend to forget. I would be very interested to actually explore what Bizplay has to offer. And I know that most of the people here would also be interested. Any questions for Ave? Please raise your virtual hands. The chat function is available. In the meantime, perhaps we can ask our third and final part of the webinar, and we can, Ruth, go ahead.
Would the teachers need to receive any special training to use the Bizplay app?
Sorry, am I right that you asked about teacher trainings, how
Yes.
to run these role plays, yeah?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can find all the materials from our homepage, bizplay.ee. And yes, exactly, we have all teacher trainings and all the video materials, how to run to role plays and everything. So feel free to use them. And always, if you want to know more, then just write us and we can take a contact with you.
Thank you, much appreciated.
So if I understood you correctly, Ave, you don't really need the physical space, because in your pictures I could see a particular place which seems to be meant for this particular experience. Is that someplace, is that just one place in Estonia, or do you have multiple places like that?
Very good question, thank you. Well, actually in Estonia we have 2 places. And as you saw on the pictures, then yes, we have a specially designed place for the Bizplay programs, and we have specially trained facilitators who are doing the Bizplay programs there. So we have the whole methodology and everything built around this. But what we have realized that teachers started to asking that, okay, when we visit you in that center, then it is so great, and students are asking that, okay, we want to play more, I would do differently next time, and so on. So we realized that actually teachers want to have these role plays in their schools. So that's why we actually built all the products as well. And we have tested for many years that they are working in the same way, and the learning experience is the same when they are visiting in our places. So yeah, we have these places, and if there is some interest to start something like this in your region, then we can help to discuss more about this as well.
I would like to visit those places, Ave, because when you're fully immersed in that experience, obviously it's a lot more fun. I noticed that the kids were in socks, you know, they seemed to be very comfortable. So I could see that they were in their realm. So brilliant, brilliant. Unless we have any other questions, I would like to now move on to the third and final part of our webinar, which will focus now on cybersecurity skills. And I would like to introduce the sixth and final speaker for us this evening, Ms Marki Tihhonova-Kreek, and perhaps Crystal would introduce her to us. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Pamela. And yes, now is our final speaker, Ms Marki Tihhonova-Kreek, who is CEO at CTF Tech company that provides the new way to deliver cyber education. And also I would like to add that Marki has been credited with contribution to generating the global cyber talent and dedicating herself as educating the next generation of young people on cyber. And she's leading the processes of several CTF type of cyber trainings and competitions, and including Cyber Battle of Estonia. And now she's currently working with young cyber talents at CTF Tech as the CEO. And I give the word to you now, Marki.
Thank you so much, Crystal, for your kind words. And it is an absolute pleasure to be here and spend this afternoon together with you. So yes, I'm a CEO of Estonian cybersecurity company called CTF Tech. And as Crystal referred, we are dedicated to shape the next generation of cyber talents. So train them, prepare competitions for them, and make it all fun for them to learn cyber, because it's quite difficult to learn cyber from a paper. Before jumping to cyber education solutions, or a way how we do it with Estonian students and also globally, let me just point out some important facts that perhaps makes us understand why IT education and cyber education is relatively advanced in Estonia. Like Janika already referred in the beginning of this seminar, our students are high ranked in PISA tests in Europe. We are also digital by default. When a child is born, they get already ID number for them and ID card. We start ICT or IT education at a very early age, already in kindergartens. All the education materials are digitalized, so everything we use at schools, these materials are digitalized 100%. Quite recently, during the COVID pandemics, when we look at the situation in general in Estonia, I think that we can say that the switch to completely 100% e-learning was relatively smooth. And when we look at the education right now, even though students are back at schools, many teachers still use the hybrid version of teaching. So, for example, when some students are at home or traveling or ill at the moment, they can still take part of classes. Then I think one reason behind our success is also the fact that there are a lot of private companies, like we saw some solutions in previous presentations. There are a lot of private companies who work together with public sector. So private-public partnership in this area is very common. And also I'm very proud of of ICT and cyber education in Estonia when it comes to girls. We have several special programs for girls, robotics program called Unicorn Squad. Then our company, together with the University of Tartu, runs Girls Cyber Academy. So to some extent, we also pay special attention or have a separate track to encourage girls and women study IT and cyber and being active in this area. Now let me try to move to the next slide. Yes. So now specifically on cyber education and the solutions that CTF Tech provides in this particular area. Let me start with showing a short video for you that is 1.5 minutes long, so not very long, but describes what do we actually do in order to make cyber learning and learning of cyber skills gamified, attractive for kids, so that they would like to do it. So yes, this is what we do. We concentrate to build up the next generation of cyber talents, because there is a huge lack of them, not only in Estonia, but globally. And our user base and our activities of global reach, so we are active in many parts of the world. So what do we actually do? What are our activities? Our goal is to bring new students to cybersecurity. So we don't work only with these students who are already smart and experienced in IT, but actually quite vice versa. we try to bring as many new people to this area, because this is the skill, the group of skills that is actually needed for in our everyday life for all of us. So we take the students, we teach them at first, starting from a very beginning, like Linux basics, then further on some open source intelligence skills, stenography, cryptography to some extent, some web vulnerabilities. These are the topics that we teach. And not only with theoretical materials, there are some of these theoretical materials as well, but much more in a way that is very similar to computer gaming. So they learn ethical hacking. When they learn, they are always on the good side by hands-on, basically gaming and solving then the tasks that are somehow related to real life. Then once this teaching or learning process is over, they are already quite confident that they know some things already in ethical hacking. Then we also provide competitions, either online or big events, like you saw from a video, and like is, for example, Cyber Battle of Estonia that we run in Estonia every year. And by doing that all, we broaden career outlook for these young people. We hope that as many as possible among these students, they continue their studies in this area. And yes, we take a lot of interns also. We have every year we have a relatively big amount of young people who start internship in our company, who have grown out from these type of cyber events that we organize. And then later on, many of them continue also working together with us. So not only doing internship, but already we engage them with different projects, already doing their studies. And of course, we always say to students that studying is #1 thing. So every once in a while, I have this very, very serious discussions with the interns and with these young people who work for us. But studying is #1 thing, and you cannot drop out from school because sometimes they get very enthusiastic and over enthusiastic about the projects that they can contribute here. So whom do we work with? Actually, like, we are not governmental institution. We are private company. And entering to educational sector, it is absolutely sure that we cannot do it with partners from public sector. So we work a lot with governments in Estonia, with a lot of local governments who want to have cyber smart and innovative next generation in their areas. Then, of course, universities, schools. So educational sector is a very important partner of us. And then third group is something that I can describe as socially responsible community of companies who have the same vision as we do, that they think that, yes, we need to have the next generation of cyber talents. This is important. There is a lack of this type of experts in all the sectors, not only in IT. So private companies also support us, for example, when we are organizing very big cyber talent events, such as Cyber Battle of Estonia is. In the center of everything that we do, lies our cyber education and gaming platform which is called CTF Tech Portal, where you can learn, play, and compete. So all the trainings of our events, CTF type of cyber events, are run there. Also, Cyber Battle of Estonia trainings are run there. We run monthly online cyber competitions and games for students internationally at this platform. And together with young people themselves, we are developing this platform further all the time. Like I said, there are theoretical materials there, but much more fun for students to learn is through hands-on tasks. So this platform is related to CyberRange. CyberRange is a technology that is used for many governments to have cyber trainings, for many international organizations, even militaries when they train their people. We provide the solutions, the visually effective solutions of the CyberRange also for studying purposes for students. So to make it, again, to make it attractive for them, because you know, it's only theoretical materials, learning cyber, it's something that doesn't work out in practice. The learning cycle has 3 steps. So first, we make a special studying module that could be tailor-made for a university, school, for a local government to provide to many schools. We provide a syllabus and studying modules and make it available for a university or several universities in one country. There are theoretical materials, like I said, and also practical challenges or tasks that students can solve. Then what we normally do when we enter a new country or university or government, our experts are also providing online or conducting online boot camps. So they learn, they use the same materials, and they have online boot camps for a particular group of students. And again, once students are already confident, they want to have their adrenaline high, then they they want to compete. Then we also provide cyber competitions. That could be, these competitions could be either online, like provided only for one school or one university, or they could be also huge physical events with TV production, with TV live show, with live commentaries, like for example in these photos, when we have these photos are from Cyber Battle of Estonia from last year's final. So it could be done either ways. When it comes to practical application of these solutions in any of the country or a university, what do we need? What are the prerequisites? Of course, we need students. The perfect age, or the age that we normally start with, is starting from 14, 15, and then all the way up to 24, 25, 26. But I've seen in my practice that the age limit is going under, like every year we start with younger students, and the reasoning behind, or the reason behind is that what is happening around us, or cyber attacks, the real world, it affects younger and younger students. What we would like to achieve when working with students is that they would get their very first experiences in cyber through us or any other gamified cyber education providers in a positive way. And this is very important. Once they are already affected by criminal world, they have bad experiences in cyber from dark web, it is much more difficult to turn their mind. So that's why we start relatively early. So another thing is computers, Wi-Fi, of course, and computers. When they learn, when students learn, everybody needs their own computer. And the third thing is willingness or eagerness to take part, because it's very difficult to force anyone to learn.
Marki,
yes.
Perhaps you can conclude in a few seconds, because we're running a little bit over schedule. So just 1 minute, please. Thank you.
Yeah, I apologize. This is my final slide. And yes, we are, of course, willing to do the same and provide our solution in Malta. We can have a pilot program with one university or high school for free, even take a team from Malta already this year to the final of Cyber Battle of Estonia, and hopefully organizing one day, relatively soon, Cyber Battle of Malta together. So thank you so much. And sorry for
no need to apologize, Marki.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you for that very interesting opportunity. So anyone here who would like to take that up, please do. We will be sharing their email addresses in a minute. Whether there's any question for Marki, please let us know. Use the chat function or the raised hand function. Matt, I don't know whether you would like to voice your opinion. You're more than welcome to do so.
We have
Sorry, I
something
didn't realize my microphone was muted.
It's okay,
it seems like a really interesting idea, and I think here in Malta, where sometimes I feel like we struggle to integrate the technology we have with our teaching, I think it's a very good idea, and I mean, if we have people from Estonia who are offering to help us with this, I mean, I think we just need to accept this.
I think so too, Matt. I think we should now seize the day, seize the moment, and let's take advantage of this opportunity. So Matt,
Definitely.
If there's anyone, you can obviously contact. Marki would be the right person at this point. We have so many opportunities presented to us, and they're for free at the moment. So what else can we ask for? I have some more questions. Donald, feel free to ask. Donald is asking for the link for the cybersecurity teaching website. I don't know, Marki, whether you would like to post it on the chat. Perhaps it would be easier for everybody. Excellent. Thank you, Marki, for that. I will be also sharing my screen in a minute. And more than anything, I would like to share the speakers' email addresses with you. This is very, very important, so please do jot them down. If you would like to contact any or all of the speakers, you're more than welcome to. I think we should take this opportunity to establish contacts with these very professional people who are very willing to share their ideas and their innovative projects with us. Okay, we are nearing the end, but before we do, as we usually do in our webinars, I would like to present our audience with some food for thought. So we've talked about the future, we talked about technology, and something that we do know is that the future is unpredictable. So when we try to design learning experiences that prepare students for the future, we have to recognize that we don't always know what they'll need. So to quote John Spencer, perhaps for those of you who don't know him, a former middle school teacher and current full-time professor and best-selling author, the best way to prepare students for the future is by empowering them and their teachers in the present through the power of creativity. And I'll give you some time to read through a post of Prof. Spencer's, and I'm sure that after this webinar, it will resonate with most of you. I don't know whether you've had time to read it, but when I was reading it, some words, some phrases stood out. Spencer gives us a very clear description of who stood out. And no, clearly they're not the ones who might have done brilliantly in exams or tests. Most probably quite the contrary. The students who stood out were intellectually humble, divergent thinkers, keyword, curious. So how can we, in our own different ways, not mold, but hone our already intellectually humble, curious, and divergent thinkers? We are not meant to fill up empty vessels. We're meant to inspire wonder and creativity. Only then can we put our minds at rest, knowing full well that although we might not have been able to prepare the best future for our children, but at least we would have prepared our children for the future. And to close off the webinar, I would now like to invite Dr. Vella once again for his closing remarks.
Thanks once again, Pam. Thanks to Crystal, to Elaine, and also to all the guests that we had this evening with these really interesting presentations. This was, as I said earlier, the second from a series of 3 webinars that we are holding in collaboration with Education Estonia and other Estonian entities. And I am sure that even the third one that we will be holding in the coming weeks will be as interesting as this one that we had today. Once again, thanks also for attending. I am sure also that in the coming days, thanks to the support of Pam, we'll be updating you with the next webinar and information also about the guest speakers that we're going to have. Good evening to all.
Thank you very much. And on that note, I would now like to share my invitation to all of you to our actual next seminar that Dr. Vella has just mentioned. Our next seminar will happen on the 11th of May. And this particular seminar, the third and final webinar, will focus on the importance of IT platforms in education. I will post the link for registration on chat, so registrations are now open. Please, may I take this opportunity to remind you all to register if you wish to receive the link to this recording and a certificate of participation. Please let me give my thanks to everybody here. I am truly enlightened by all the things that you've shared with us. Please, I encourage you all to get in touch with whoever you feel might help you take your next step in your journey, in your own progress, and in your own education. Until next time, take good care And thank you so much.
Thank you also from Education Estonia behalf.
And thank you from Mindfulness with Elaine.
Thank you and have a nice evening.
Thank you.
Thank you and bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening.